If you're feeling unproductive today, don't compare yourself to Isaac Newton. Seriously, don't. Because before he even turned 26, he basically reinvented the universe. This is the story of how one young man, working mostly in isolation, managed to rewrite physics, redefine mathematics, and make apples forever suspicious, all before most of us figure out how to pay rent without crying. Newton was born on Christmas Day, 1642. Cute, right? Except he was tiny. Doctors didn't think he'd survive the week. His father had died before he was born, and his mother, well, she left him with his grandmother when she remarried. Newton grew up in rural England, a quiet corner of the world not exactly known as a center of intellectual life. He wasn't a child prodigy like you might think. He was quiet, awkward, and preferred his own company, spending a lot of time building weird contraptions, like a miniature windmill powered by a mouse running in a wheel. His school reports were fine, not terrible, not amazing, just fine. There was little sign of the towering intellect that would soon emerge. Then he went to Cambridge University. That's where things really started to click, and then, boom, the plague hit. Not a few bad weeks plague, the Great Plague of London. Cambridge shut down. Students went home. Most people spent lockdown trying not to die. Newton started changing the world. He went back to his family's farm, and in what historians call his Annus Mirabilis, his year of wonders, Newton went on an intellectual rampage. First, mathematics, calculus, that subject everyone complains about in high school? Yeah, Newton invented it before his 25th birthday. He created a whole new branch of math, a powerful new language because the math we had wasn't good enough to describe the things he wanted to explain. Second, optics. He started messing with prisms and discovered that white light is actually made up of all the colors of the rainbow. Before Newton, people thought prisms colored the light somehow. Newton proved the colors were already there, hidden inside. Third, gravity. The famous apple story? Here's the deal. Newton didn't get bonked on the head. He saw an apple fall and wondered if the same force pulling it down was also keeping the moon in orbit. While the rest of us would have just eaten the apple, Newton sat there thinking, wait, what if this is how the entire universe works? And here's the wild part. He didn't just wonder, he worked out the math. He laid the foundation for the law of universal gravitation, the thing that explains how planets move, how tides work, why satellites don't just fall out of the sky. If you just learned that Newton basically rewrote the laws of the universe before he could even rent a car, share this video. So hit subscribe and tap the bell. By the time Cambridge reopened, Newton had invented calculus, figured out the nature of light, started formulating the laws of motion and gravity, made the groundwork for his future masterpiece, Principia Mathematica, which would become the single most influential science book in history. And, let's remember this, he did all of this before he was 26 years old. At 25, I was figuring out how to make pasta without burning it. Newton was building the blueprint for the modern world. But here's the thing, Newton wasn't some untouchable genius who floated above humanity. He was obsessive. He barely ate when he was deep in thought. His notes were a mess. Part math, part random scribbles, part, here's a new theory about the universe I just thought of while drinking tea. And you have Netflix. But maybe next time you're bored, instead of scrolling endlessly, you could chase that one what if in your head. Because here's the truth. Newton's apple didn't just fall on him. He caught it, cracked it open, and found the universe inside, and he did it before 26, which is, completely insane. If you just learned that Newton basically rewrote the laws of the universe before he could even rent a car, share this video. History's Greatest Moments is all about bringing you the stories, discoveries, and flashes of genius that changed the world. Moments that make you say, how have I never heard it told like this before? So hit subscribe and tap the bell so you won't miss our next jaw-dropping leap in history. Because whether it's a battle, a breakthrough, or an apple falling in just the right place, if we don't tell these stories, who will?